It all started with a question. Not a big question like, what is the meaning of life? But a quiet, painful one. How do I keep going when everything around me is falling apart? Suleika Jaouad did not have all the answers. She had been through sickness, heartbreak, fear, and loneliness. She felt lost, like a piece of her life had been stolen. But instead of giving up, she picked up a notebook and a pen. And with shaky hands and a heavy heart, she began to write. Not for anyone else, not to be perfect, but to survive. Her words were not always pretty. Some pages were messy. Some were full of anger. Others were full of tears. But slowly, something amazing started to happen. Her pain turned into peace. Her fear turned into strength. And her words turned into healing. This was not just journaling. This was alchemy, the quiet magic of turning something painful into something powerful. And that is where her journey began. This book is not just full of pages. It is full of feelings, questions, and hope. It is called the Book of Alchemy, a creative practice for an inspired life. The author, Suleika Jaouad, wrote it to help us heal, grow, and create. Suleika has been through a lot in her life. She got very sick when she was young. She had cancer. She had pain. She felt lost and broken. But instead of giving up, she started writing. She wrote about her thoughts, her fears, and her dreams. Every word she wrote helped her feel a little stronger. Every sentence helped her understand her heart. This is what she calls alchemy. In old stories, alchemy was the magic of turning metal into gold. But Suleika believes we can do the same with our lives. We can take our pain, our sadness, even our fear, and turn it into hope, healing, and light. This book is your guide. It is not a book you just read. It is a book you live. It is full of short stories, ideas, and special questions that help you think. At the end of each part, Suleika gives you a prompt, a little writing task. These prompts are simple. They ask things like, what is something you are afraid to say out loud? What do you want to leave behind? What is one small thing you love about today? You do not have to be a good writer. You do not have to show your pages to anyone. This is just for you. Suleika wants you to use your journal like a friend. A place where you can be honest. A place where you can let go of heavy thoughts. A place where you can find your own voice again. This journey will not be fast. It will not always be easy. But it will be real. And that is what makes it powerful. Are you ready to begin? Every journey starts with one small step. And in this book, that step is simple. Begin. Suleika says that beginning is not about being ready. It is not about having the perfect words or a big plan. It is just about showing up. You can start even if you feel tired. You can start even if you feel broken inside. You can start with one word. Suleika shares that when her life fell apart, she felt scared. She was not sure what to do next. But she picked up her pen and she wrote one sentence. That was her beginning. She tells us, start where you are. Start with what you feel. You do not need to have it all figured out. The first pages of your journal do not need to be perfect. They can be messy. They can be simple. They can be full of questions. But once you begin, something changes. Your heart opens a little. Your pain becomes softer. Your voice becomes stronger. Suleika reminds us that we do not have to write for anyone else. We write for ourselves, to understand our thoughts, to know our feelings, to feel less alone. So, if you are waiting for the right time, this is it. Begin now. Even if it is just one word. Even if it is just one feeling. That is enough. That is powerful. That is the start of alchemy. Memories live inside us like quiet shadows. Some memories make us smile. Some memories make us cry. And some memories feel heavy, like a weight on our heart. In the Book of Alchemy, Suleika talks about memory as a place to visit and understand. She says memories are not only about the past, they are also a way to heal. When we write about our memories, we bring them to light. We can look at them closely. We can hold them gently. Suleika shares how remembering is not always easy. Sometimes memories bring pain or regret, but writing them down helps us feel less scared. It helps us see the whole story, not just the hurt parts. She asks readers to think about a memory they want to understand better. She gives a writing prompt. Write about a moment from your past that still feels alive inside you. What do you see? What do you feel? What have you learned? Through this writing, memories become like old friends. We learn from them. We forgive ourselves and others. We find peace. Suleika teaches us that memory is part of our alchemy, the magic of change. By holding our memories with care, we turn our past into a place of strength. And that is how healing begins, one memory at a time. Fear is a feeling that visits us all. Sometimes it is loud and strong. Sometimes it is quiet and hiding in the shadows. In the Book of Alchemy, Suleika Jaouad writes about fear as one of the hardest things to face. Fear can stop us from trying new things. Fear can make us want to hide. Fear can even make us feel alone. But Suleika tells us a different story. She says fear does not have to control us. It can be a teacher. It can show us what is really important. When Suleika was sick, fear was a big part of her life. She was afraid of the future. She was afraid of losing people she loved. She was afraid of pain. But instead of running away from fear, she learned to write through it. She used her journal like a safe place to talk to fear. She wrote down her fears. She looked at them closely. And slowly, the fear began to lose its power. Suleika also shares the words of a writer she admires, Elizabeth Gilbert, who says, "Creativity is the most stubborn and powerful force in the world. It will wait for you, even when you are afraid." This means that even when fear is strong, we can still create. We can still find our voice. We just have to take the first small step. Writing is one way to take that step. It lets us speak honestly without judgment. It helps us see that fear is just one part of our story, not the whole story. So, if you feel afraid, remember this. You are not alone. Your fear is real, but it is not forever. You have the power to face it, one word, one page, one day at a time. Alchemy is a special word. Long ago, people believed it was magic, the magic of turning ordinary metal into gold. But Suleika Jaouad gives us a new meaning. For her, alchemy is the magic inside us all. It is the power to change pain into strength. It is the power to turn hard times into hope. It is the power to make something beautiful from broken pieces. This book is called the Book of Alchemy because it teaches us how to do this magic in our own lives. Suleika believes that everyone can practice alchemy. We just need to be brave enough to face our feelings. We need to be willing to write honestly. And we need to believe that change is possible. When we write, we are not just putting words on paper. We are learning about ourselves. We are finding new ways to understand our feelings. We are creating a path from sadness to healing. Suleika shares stories from her own life. She shows us how writing helped her find light after dark days, how it helped her feel hope when she thought there was none. But alchemy is not always easy. Sometimes it is slow. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes we want to give up. That is normal. The magic is not in never feeling pain. The magic is in choosing to keep going anyway, to keep writing, to keep healing. This book gives you small tools to practice alchemy every day. Simple prompts that ask you to reflect, to dream, to heal. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to write beautifully. You only need to be honest, because that honesty is the real magic. That honesty is the beginning of your own alchemy, your own transformation from pain into hope, from darkness into light. Every story has a turning point, a moment when everything changes. In the Book of Alchemy, Suleika Jaouad shares her own moment of change. It was not a sudden moment of magic. It was quiet, small, and inside her heart. After many days of pain and fear, after many pages filled with tears and anger, something shifted. She realized that she did not have to be afraid of her story. She did not have to hide from her feelings. She could accept them. This acceptance was the beginning of healing. It was the moment when her pain stopped feeling like a prison. It became a door she could open to find hope. Suleika writes about how writing helped her see herself differently, not just as a sick person or someone broken, but as a person who is strong and creative, a person who could use her pain to help others. This is the true power of alchemy. Her journey teaches us that change does not happen all at once. It happens step by step, page by page, word by word. That moment of change is inside all of us. It may come quietly, like a soft light in the dark, or it may come suddenly, like a wave crashing on the shore. But it will come if we keep trying. Suleika's story reminds us to be patient with ourselves, to keep writing even when it is hard, to believe that our stories matter. Because when we do, we create space for healing. We create space for new beginnings. And that is the moment when true alchemy happens. At the end of her journey, Suleika shares an important lesson. The lesson is simple but powerful. Life will bring pain. It will bring fear. It will bring hard moments that seem too big to handle. But inside each of us is the power to change those hard moments, to turn pain into hope, to turn fear into courage, to turn brokenness into strength. This is the magic of alchemy. Suleika teaches us that healing is not about forgetting our pain. It is about feeling it, understanding it, and then growing from it. She reminds us that writing can be a strong tool on this path. When we write, we talk to ourselves honestly. We see our true feelings. We open our hearts. No matter where you are in your journey, this book offers a way forward. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to have all the answers. Just keep writing. Keep trying. Keep believing in your own strength. Suleika's story shows us that alchemy is possible for everyone. It is the slow and steady work of the heart, and it can bring light even to the darkest days. So, the lesson is this: your story matters, your pain matters, and your hope matters. With time and courage, you can find your own magic, your own alchemy. As we end this journey together, remember this: you are not alone. Every one of us carries stories inside. Stories of pain, of fear, of hope, and of change. Suleika's story is a reminder that no matter how hard life gets, we have the power to turn our struggles into something beautiful. The magic of alchemy is real. It lives in your heart, waiting to shine. When you write your story, when you face your feelings with courage, you give yourself a gift, the gift of healing. It is not an easy gift to unwrap. Sometimes it hurts, sometimes it feels slow, but it is always worth it. Suleika shows us that change is not about being perfect. It is about being brave enough to begin. It is about trusting yourself when the path is dark. It is about believing that your voice matters. So, take a moment right now. Think about your story. Think about your pain. Think about your hope. And know this: you are stronger than you think. You are braver than you feel. And you are more capable than you know. Your story is your power. Your words are your magic. Your heart holds the key to your own alchemy. Thank you for joining this journey today. Keep writing, keep healing, and keep believing in the beautiful magic inside you. Because your story is worth telling, and your life is worth living, fully, courageously, and with hope.